from the most feared second women in the world to the Queen of the UK. A recent study showed that only 14% of Britons want Camilla to be called Queen. Under the shiny surface of custom, the British royal family is no stranger to rivalries and tensions. But one fight that isn't talked about much is the rumored one between Queen Camilla and Princess Anne, the unwavering princess. To say the least, unusual way they became part of the royal family. Many people think Anne doesn't like Camilla because of Camilla's affair with King Charles while he was married to Princess Diana, which is still a dark spot in the monarchy's history. Anne is very loyal to her family and traditions, so this breach of royal privacy was totally unacceptable to her. What is this fight really about? Why does Anne, who is a royal duty bearer, look down on Camilla so much? Let's look deeper into this complicated relationship and find out why Princess Anne is said to dislike Queen Camilla. Princess Anne, the queen who won't give in. Princess Anne is the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. She is a very loyal member of the British royal family. Anne has created a unique identity that is strongly rooted in royal tradition. She is known for being strong, practical, and devoted to duty. Anne took on her job with discipline and a work ethic that reminds me of how much her mother cared about public service. She has always had the most responsibilities of all the royals, which is how she got the nickname the hardest working royal, which she has kept every year. People recognize Anne's hard work and admire her, but she is still one of the most private family members, clearly separating her work life from her personal life. Other members of the royal family have sometimes changed with the times, but Anne has stuck to a very traditional way of doing her job. People know that she doesn't like being in the spotlight, doesn't like letting people see her private life, and rarely agrees to interviews, choosing instead to live a quiet life. It is clear to her that she is duty-bound, and it runs deep. She sees her work as her duty, not as a chance to become famous. She is different from younger royals who are more open with the media because of this, making her a strong supporter of traditional royal ideals. Her unwavering determination shows the values Queen Elizabeth taught her. Queen Elizabeth saw royal duty as a lasting commitment. Anne has strong feelings about people who want to join the royal family because she is devoted to her family, her job, and the monarchy as a whole. She has a clear idea of what it means to be royal and follows a strict code that values honor, discipline, and a love of royal custom. Her connections with people who have joined the family through marriage are also based on this rigid view, who have a history that makes people angry. There are people Anne is especially wary of because she thinks they might hurt the family's image. The addition of Camilla Parker Bowles to the royal family made people even more wary. Anne thought Camilla's relationship with Charles while he was married to Diana was a terrible breach of royal duty, family loyalty, and the very idea of marriage itself. Anne thinks that Camilla's presence threatens the family's security and the history they have worked so hard to keep alive. Her devotion to the image and beliefs of her family makes her dislike of Camilla more than just a personal dislike. It shows how strongly she feels that she must be loyal to the Queen above all else. Anne thinks that Camilla's past is a threat to the crown's honor, which she has fought for all her life. The past of Camilla and the other woman. Camilla Parker Bowles has been a complicated person in the British royal family for a long time. Her early relationship with Charles is at the heart of this complexity. Camilla first met Charles in the early 1970s, which is where the story of how she came into his life started. They quickly became romantically involved because it was clear that they loved and cared for each other and had a strong bond. It was expected of them by society and the royal family, but Charles and Camilla ended up going their different ways. She married Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973, which seemed to end her relationship with Charles. However, Charles kept Camilla in his life even after he married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981, rekindling their relationship despite what would happen in public and in private. It was said that they were having an affair in the 1980s, and by the early 1990s, everyone knew about it. It was a scandal that shocked the country and cast a long shadow over the throne. The affair made Camilla look like the other woman, the cause of Charles and Diana's problems, and a lot of media attention. The press called her a liar and said she had harmed Diana and, by extension, the people of Britain who loved her. It wasn't just Charles and Diana who were affected by this incident. It was felt by everyone in the royal family. Camilla's part in Charles's life had become very controversial, and the affair had changed how people would always think of her. For Anne, this incident was a crime that could not be forgiven. Charlotte thought Camilla's presence was a threat to family ideals and the institution of marriage, which she held in high regard. Anne thought Camilla's actions showed she didn't care about the security of the royal family and was selfish in a way that didn't fit with royal values. Things fall apart. They ruined Camilla's image in the family for good and caused a wound that couldn't be easily fixed. Charles and Camilla were able to get married in the end, but Anne would always remember this incident. In her thoughts, Camilla's past always brought up the hurt Diana felt and the stain the affair left on the family. Anne still thinks of Camilla as someone who caused trouble and scandal in the royal family. And this idea still affects how she sees her sister-in-law. Camilla's role as the other woman in the family is still a part of who she is, and Anne can't and probably won't ignore it. Anne's dedication to Diana's work. While Camilla was seeing Charles, she was not only hurting the royal family's reputation, she was also doing a great woman like Diana a huge disservice. This was yet another important way for Anne to show that she didn't like Camilla joining the royal family. Diana's kindness, humanity, and ability to connect with people left an indelible mark on the royal family, and Anne looked up to her a great deal. Diana's status in the royal family is very important to Princess Anne. Even though they had personal problems, Anne admired Diana's work and dedication to her children, Prince William and Prince Harry. Diana's caring attitude changed the monarchy. She brought warmth and a sense of connection that Anne saw as important for connecting the royal family with the people. The People's Princess's unexpected death in 1997 made her even more of a beloved figure, whose impact would continue to shape how people thought about the monarchy. But Camilla's membership in the royal family has made this legacy more difficult. Anne sees Camilla as a representation of the pain Diana felt because she was at the center of the scandal that caused Diana's marriage to fall apart. Anne's respectful interactions with Camilla show her devotion to Diana's memory. These interactions remind Anne of the pain Camilla's participation in Charles's life caused Diana and the royal family as a whole. Anne thinks that Camilla can't live up to Diana's memory, which is always there in the background. Anne still feels connected to Diana's memory, which means that Camilla's job as queen consort is very different from what Diana stood for. The public's like for Camilla has grown over the years, but Anne's quiet devotion to Diana's memory keeps her from fully accepting Camilla's presence. Diana's impact goes beyond a piece of history. And because of that, the royal family's hopes and feelings will always be different, but Anne will always be loyal to her sister-in-law's memory. A battle of personalities, old-fashioned ideas versus new ones. There are more differences between Anne and Camilla than just controversial events in the past and family problems. They are also very close on a human level, even though the two women are very different. People often say that Princess Anne is like a woman of steel because she is so royal and follows all the rules. Her personality is a lot like that of her mother, Queen Elizabeth. She values moderation, following the rules, and a strong sense of duty. Anne is known for being a hard worker and not taking things personally. Each year, she has more engagements than almost any other queen. She doesn't like to spend a lot of money on nice things and doesn't do many interviews. Her whole life has been shaped by custom and a strict set of rules for how to behave. On the other hand, Camilla has brought a modern, friendly, and even funny style to the royal family. Since she married Charles, she has used her fame to bring attention to issues close to her heart, such as reading and stopping domestic violence. Camilla, on the other hand, likes to keep things casual and is fine with the press, while Anne wants to keep things formal and private. Camilla's kinder, friendlier attitude is meant to appeal to the public, but Anne thinks it's hurting the seriousness that she thinks is important for the monarchy's image. Anne's view of royalty comes from respect for the institution and a desire to keep things private. Camilla's more laid-back approach shows a move toward a more modern kingdom. Sources close to Anne say that her dislike of Camilla is so strong that she has told others in private talks more than once that she feels terrible about Camilla. Anne thinks that Camilla's laid-back attitude hurts the monarchy's status and power, which have been carefully kept up for generations. This basic disagreement about the monarchy's purpose makes Anne and Camilla even more angry at each other, and it makes their already tense relationship even worse because Anne is very loyal to her family and traditions. Anne's love for her family goes beyond giving her mental support. It means upholding the monarchy's ideals that go back hundreds of years, keeping up a good appearance, and keeping her mother, Queen Elizabeth's legacy safe. Anne is very loyal to the traditions and image of her family. These values were taught to her from a very young age. Anne doesn't often go against royal rules like her brothers do. Because of this, she is one of the most respected and traditional family members. Anne has never agreed with Camilla's place in the royal family when it comes to loyalty. Anne thinks that family values include loyalty, dedication, and being ready to give up personal goals for the sake of the crown. Camilla's participation in Charles's life while he was married to Diana was a clear violation of these rules and an insult to the royal code that Anne values. Just being around Camilla makes Anne feel bad about the morals she wants to live by. Anne's rare disapproval of Camilla at royal events shows how fundamentally incompatible she thinks she is with the family. Although she is very loyal to her direct family, she is also very loyal to the monarchy as a whole. Anne thinks of herself as the protector of the monarchy's honor, and she thinks Camilla has failed in this duty through her actions in past. Anne's strong commitment to upholding these values has made her dislike Camilla even more. She sees her as a troublemaker who goes against the code of loyalty she has spent her whole life defending. Because of the affair, the family was split up. the affair between Charles and Camilla hurt more than just his marriage to Diana. It also caused rifts in the royal family that can still be seen today. When people found out that Charles and Camilla were dating, family members had to deal with the drama that had happened in their midst. The affair wasn't just something Charles and Diana did for fun. The people could criticize the monarchy, and members of the royal family had to face an unpleasant truth. The affair caused Princess Anne to have a personal problem. To be fair, she was devoted to her brother, but she also felt hurt by Charles's betrayal of Diana and the rift that it caused in the family. Anne was very upset about the affair because she was known for being very devoted to her duties. This was especially true after Diana's sad interviews showed how much she suffered during her marriage. When Charles's relationship with Camilla became public, it destroyed the idea of a respectable, united family. Anne felt cheated that the royal family's values and unity were not being respected. Anne's response to the affair was very personal because she had often been pulled between loving her family and protecting the monarchy's honor. Even after Charles and Camilla were finally able to get married in 2005, Anne's anger didn't go away. She thought that the affair had broken up the family for good, and Camilla's part in the scandal was still raw. Anne has been wary of Camilla's power over Charles because she thinks that Camilla and Charles' relationship goes against the image of duty and respect that the royal family is meant to show. The rise of Camilla, a test of royal values. The way Camilla went from being the controversial other woman to becoming queen consort is a huge change in royal customs. Camilla was given the title of Duchess of Cornwall when she married Charles in 2005. This was done on purpose to avoid any imagined disrespect to Princess Diana's memory. Camilla stayed out of the public eye for a long time, doing good things for others and working hard to change how people see her. Still, as she did more royal tasks, she got closer to becoming queen consort. This idea was met with resistance from the more traditional family members, especially Princess Anne. Anne doesn't like Camilla's rise because she is firm in her belief that the title of queen consort means both public approval and a high moral standard, which she thinks her mother, Queen Elizabeth, showed. Anne will never think Camilla was worthy of such a title again because she was involved in Charles's marriage to Diana. Others saw Camilla's work for the public good, but Anne saw her continued rise as going against the monarchy's strict rules about honesty. For Anne, the traditional way to become a royal is based on duty, loyalty, and a dedication to family values that Camilla's acts in the past have hurt. The fact that Camilla will soon be queen consort shows how royal customs have changed, which Anne has spent her whole life protecting. Anne's quiet behavior at Charles and Camilla's wedding showed that she was uncomfortable, which was very different from how strongly she supported her mother's beliefs. Even though most people agree with Camilla's ideas, Anne's idea of what a queen partner should be like is challenged by them. Anne doesn't just see Camilla's agreement as a title change. It shows that the government has moved away from its original ideas, which makes Anne worried about where the family will go under Charles and Camilla's rule. There was stress in the house, behind locked doors, inside the palace walls, where they are both safe. The tension between Anne and Camilla has been quiet and long-lasting. It's clear that Anne and Camilla have a complex relationship because of their different approaches to tradition and modernity. This has become even more clear over the years. Anne is known for being honest and sometimes rude, and she doesn't hide how she really feels about people she sees as a threat to the family's honor. Anne's exchanges with Camilla are polite but clearly distant, and they are often marked by a formality that makes her think there are tensions beneath the surface. Palace insiders say that Anne's interactions with Camilla are not always as warm as one would expect from a family member. People say that Anne is nice in public, but that her body language and sometimes short answers show that she doesn't want to fully connect with Camilla. Some say that the two have even gotten into fights. Camilla is said to have tried to heal the rift between them, but Anne's quiet answers make it impossible for them to get close. This building stress affects not only their relationship, but also the way the family works as a whole. Anne's devotion to family customs and values is still an unspoken attack on Camilla's past, which has caused a rift in the royal family that will last for a long time. The two women's different styles show two different ideas about royalty. One is based on duty, custom, and privacy, while the other wants the monarchy to be more open and up to date. Camilla has had a hard time getting Anne to accept her, as Anne's refusal to give in is a warning of the traditional rules that Camilla has broken in the past. Behind the well-kept public image, this strain is still affecting the family's relationships within, leaving a gap between two of the most important women in the monarchy that can't be filled. The crowning and Anne's anger. The coronation of King Charles and Queen Camilla in 2023 was a big deal because it showed how the government had changed with the times. But the ceremony also showed a clear sign of stress, especially in the way Princess Anne behaved. As the king and queen consort were crowned, Anne's quiet face and calm behavior showed that she was uncomfortable, but she tried hard to hide it, and people who paid close attention could tell. This coronation was both a reminder of how the government has changed over time and a test for Camilla's ability to accept her role, which she still finds hard. The event showed how hard it was for Anne to see Camilla as queen consort, a term she didn't think was right because Camilla had been with her brother when he was married to Diana. Anne did her job perfectly, but when she talked to Camilla during the wedding, she kept her distance and her body language showed how complicated her feelings were. While some people might have seen the coronation as a time for togetherness, Anne's behavior showed that she still had some doubts. Anne's discomfort during the coronation was especially noticeable because she had always stood by her mother, Queen Elizabeth, during her rule. Anne respects the continuity of the government, but she thinks Camilla's rise to power is different from the values Queen Elizabeth stood for. Anne's reserved facial expressions during the event showed that she was torn between job and personal conviction, which showed how she felt about Camilla's new title. For Anne, Camilla's role as queen consort is a big change in the royal family that she might not like. Her discomfort during the coronation is a subtle warning that family problems don't go away, even though the monarchy changes. Even though Camilla stuck with Charles' queen, Anne's quiet opposition showed how loyal she is to tradition. This makes people wonder how she will handle her relationship with Camilla in the years to come, what effect it has on how people think. Princess Anne's quiet dislike of Camilla has changed not only how the family works but also how people think of Queen Camilla. As one of the most recognized members of the royal family, Anne's opinions are very important to people who love and support the royal family. Because Anne doesn't want to fully accept Camilla, people are even more skeptical and are still wondering where Camilla fits in with the royal family. Anne's role in the royal family is deeply rooted in tradition. This makes her a respected figure among people who value the historical ideals of the monarchy. Some people who are still loyal to Diana's memory see Anne's position as proof that they are right. Some royal fans think that Anne is the best example of the royal family's honesty and honor, and her quiet opposition to Camilla makes the gap between new and old royal fans even bigger. Anne has never said anything about Camilla in public, but the way she acts around the queen consort and how cold she seems to her sends a clear message. Anne's decision to stay away has become a quiet sign for people who are suspicious of Camilla's role. This split in the public reflects the deep and subtle tensions within the family and shows how hard it is to make peace between the past and the present. Last thoughts. A fight that will last forever. One of the longest lasting and most complicated ties in the British royal family is the one between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla. Their fight has been going on for a long time because they have different beliefs, were betrayed in the past, and are deeply loyal to each other. Anne's devotion to custom, her love for her family, and her respect for Diana's legacy have made things very difficult between her and Camilla. That doesn't look like it will close. People outside of the palace often think of the royal family as a single unit, but the relationship between Anne and Camilla shows how complicated and divided things really are. Their fight is more than just a disagreement between two people. It shows a big difference in what each woman thinks the government should be like. For Anne, the monarchy is an organization that demands unwavering devotion to tradition and loyalty, which she thinks Camilla's past has hurt. The tension between Anne and Camilla is still a small but important part of the royal family as Charles's rule goes on. Their fight has become a symbol of the monarchy's ongoing battle to balance modernity and custom. This battle will likely have an impact on the family's future for many years to come. Anne will always see Camilla as a sign of a betrayal that she thinks broke up the unity of the royal family. For Camilla, Anne's refusal to give in is a reminder of the problems she still has with her own family.